Good day, or whatever time it is where you are. I was looking back over my life this week, and um, it wasn't always what I thought it should be. And I got to thinking about what's going on with me. And I thought about our identity prayer, especially the part that says, within myself is the wholeness, peace, poise, and power of life. This life is health, it is abundance, it is love. There is only one life, and it is the life of God, and it is my life now. I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't always feel that wholeness, peace, poise, and the power of life are what is going on in my life. And I have felt a little stressed, pulled, a little bit of feeling of stuff not being quite the way they should be lately. And I started wondering what is going on. And I started thinking about the little resentments in my life. Those little things that just kind of pop up and pull me down the wrong path. And some of the things that have come up, and some things pull me much further down the wrong path more quickly than others. Political things that are going on in this country and other parts of the world. People and coaches being unreasonable to my children and grandchildren. Neighbors who do things I don't really like. And probably the one that's been the most interesting is a set of TV commercials we're having right now about foreign powers trying to take over our power system. And one of the advertisements talks about they're trying to get something changed in, I believe it's the Ohio Constitution. And one of the advertisements is talking about them bringing in people from outside the state to get people to sign this petition. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And there's so much fear in these ads that it pushes every button I've got. And my husband came home yesterday or the day before and said when he was on his way to work, he works nights, he had stopped at one of the local fast food places, and some rough-looking person comes up to him and says, "You need to sign this petition." And my husband says, "I don't want to sign it." He says, no, thank you. And I'm sure he was very polite because he is. And this went on for 3 or 4 times, and Bill said he was really getting uncomfortable until somebody in the who's part of the store told the people they had to stop and to leave the store. And I thought, that's interesting. That maybe it wasn't even connected to this, but it's certainly interesting that it happened when a lot of these ads are going on. And they feel so fear-based that it just pushes every button I've got. And I resent what's going on. And what I've come to realize is that resentment, for me anyway, is usually something that I'm not even aware is going on. I may feel a momentary discomfort, a momentary disconnection or whatever, and then it just kind of goes away. But I think it still has a lot of power in what's going on with me. Merriam-Webster defines resentment as a feeling of indignation, displeasure, or persistent ill will at something regarded as wrong, an insult, or an injury. Raymond Charles Barker, in The Science of Successful Living, Chapter 4, entitled Resistance is Ruin, says, resistance is an abnormal direction of emotion with an unconscious intention of self-destruction. Its indulgence creates havoc in every area of our life. It is harmful to the body, to your business, your friendships, and your finances. Its insipid operation infiltrates all your unconscious actions. When you allow your subconscious mind to be saturated with this emotional malady, you are not only in trouble, you are headed for even more trouble. The natural and normal state of your emotions is one of order, peace, and givingness or love. God equipped you to feel the greatest of life and to impart your feelings to others. Your emotions are a divine gift that should always be used rightly. Most people make no attempt to control their emotions through understanding their nature and purpose. In fact, most people are led around by their emotions like sheep following a shepherd. It doesn't enter their thinking to direct them aright. All men, all of us, is an emotional being. Our emotions are structured in such a way that we experience, are structured in a way that allows us to experience life and enjoy our experience. Your emotions never were intended to be used destructively. Watch the toll that anger, resentment, jealousy, and other negative feelings take out on you. Wrong use of emotions causes depletion and destruction, while their right use is powerful and enjoyable. The mind of God is the source of our thinking nature, and the love of God is the source of our feeling nature. Thinking is masculine and feeling is feminine. Combined, they make our total consciousness, which is the real nature of our being. I read that and I thought, I need to do some thinking about this resentment that I have going on that sometimes shows up. As I said, it just shows up for a minute. But as Barker is saying in this, those negative feelings really take an impact on how we relate to others. And when we think about it, our relationship with others and how we react to other people in other situations is based on how things have happened to us, devastated by a wildfire. And they're talking to one family, and one family is just, sobbing in each other's arms, saying, we've lost everything, everything is gone, and keep going on and on about everything they've lost. And the reporter goes down the street and starts interviewing another couple who has also lost everything in their home. And they say, we are so lucky. Our family is fine, our pets are fine, and what we lost was material, and it can be replaced. The irreplaceable things we still have. Both families lost the same thing. They just had a different way of looking at it. And when we think about how we react to other people and situations, sometimes we need to think about what has happened to us in our lives. I have a friend who works with a younger man in his department, and they work on the same shift, and it's a small team that works together. Well, this young man had a very turbulent relationship with his father. And my friend, unfortunately, happens to be about the same age as the young man's father. And he has said to my friend on more than one occasion that he's sorry, but he just cannot interact with my friend because he reminds him too much of his dad. Now, this person that I know is a very kind, caring, and compassionate person. How his work partner relates to him is not based on anything my friend has done. It's based on years of physical and emotional abuse from his father that he is now viewing my friend through the filter of that abuse. It's not fair to my friend. It's in actuality not fair to the young man that's doing it either. But this is an extreme case of what all of us do. When someone steps into our experience and we begin to judge them, and we begin to think harsh thoughts about them and negative thoughts about it, it may have absolutely nothing to do with them. It may be what Great Aunt Sally said to us when we were 10 years old, or what a supervisor in their great wisdom said to us when we were a new employee, or what an ex-spouse said, or someone who we think was supposed to love and support us said something to us, that we are now filtering our experience with this person through what has happened to us in the past. And it's not fair, but it's something all of us do. And this is a lot of what happens when we have resentments around a person or a situation. We're viewing it through the filters of what has happened to us in our lives. And we have these false experiences based on our past that may well have nothing to do with what's going on here. What is out picturing in front of us is based on our emotions. And it really has very little to do with the person that's pushed every button we've got, because it is our emotions reacting to that person, which is really a good thing. Because in case none of you have noticed to this point in your life, there is nothing we can do to change someone else. We can change our perception, we can change our attitude, but we cannot change the other person. Until that other person is willing to make changes within themselves, the only changes we can make within us. And since we are viewing a situation through our filters and through our emotions, we are in a position to make that change. As we say, is used to be the catchphrase of our denomination, change your thinking, change your life. And when we change our thinking around what's going on around us, we are changing our interaction with that person. Raymond Charles Barker also talks about the fact that many older religions have the ability of confession built into the religion. And that confession, when we say confession is good fool, it truly is. When we confess something, it allows us to really get an understanding of what's going on. And getting an understanding of what is really going on is the way to deal with resentment. When I look at the political situation around here in different parts of the world, I really don't like what's going on. It's very different from my perception of how it should be. And my ability to affect an immediate change is pretty limited. I can do my prayer work. I can change my attitude toward certain political leaders. I can change my attitude toward world situations and hope that as I change my attitude, others are also led to change theirs. And at some point, enough of us change our attitude that many things change. But until we change our thought process and our emotions and our feelings, nothing is going to change around us. And if we're expecting somebody else to suddenly see the light and see the error of their ways, we're in for a shock, because it's not going to happen. We can only change how we feel and how we look at what's going on. And that's how we open up to that world that we talked about full of wholeness and joy and love and peace that we talked about in the identity prayer is by changing how we view something and how we look at it and the emotions and the feelings that we have around it. And I want to end by doing an experiential. And what I want you to do is make sure that you are on a gallery view where you can see your own self on your screen. Now, I know that I'm pinned, so I'm the biggest one there. I like being the center of attention anyway. So I want you to be able to look at yourself. One of the things Barker says is that all of us can do our own self-confession as long as we truly see who we are, rather than the mask that we put on of who we want to be or who we think we should be. So what I encourage you to do right now is look at yourself and look at who you truly are. Look at and, do an inner search of what your real feelings are and what your real attitudes are. And just take a couple of moments to do that and just feel yourself becoming centered in who you are. And know that who you are is absolutely perfect. It's who you are right in this moment. And by being honest about who you are right in this moment and what your driving thoughts are and your driving emotions are, that puts you in a place to make a change if you need to, or to celebrate if you're exactly where you want to be. And now I want you to think through your life and bring up someone that, or some situation that you have a resentment around. And just kind of observe yourself, observing the person or the situation, and get an idea of what your feelings and emotions are, or what your thinking is around this, what the real truth of the situation is, what's really going on. And just allow that to kind of permeate your being. And now we're going to do an affirmation, and I'm going to read it, and then I want y'all to repeat after me. I am one with all of life. Love and truth there is. Let's start all over. I am one with all. The life, love, and truth there is. For I am one with God. I am one with every person. For in each is the image and likeness of perfect life. I take full spiritual control of my mind and emotions. And I refuse to be disturbed by person or situations. No resentment can find acceptance in my subconscious. I have spiritual understanding of all whom I know. I behold in them the love of God, which blesses and benefits me. The actions and words of another person have no power nor authority within me. I am at peace with myself and with others. I am the only thinker in my world. And I guard my emotions night and day to maintain my freedom from others. The only relationship I can have with any person is one of love, understanding, and peace. I am a free and uncluttered expression of God. Now close your eyes and take in these words as I read this again. I am one with all of life, love, and truth there is, for I am one with God. I am one with every person, for in each is the image and likeness of perfect life. I take full spiritual control of my mind and emotions, and I refuse to be disturbed by a person or situation. No resentment can find acceptance in my consciousness. I have spiritual understanding of all whom I know. I behold in them the love of God, which blesses and benefits me. The actions and the word of another person have no power nor authority within me. I am at peace with myself and with others. I am the only thinker in my world. I guard my emotions night and day to maintain my freedom for others. The only relationship I have with any other person is one of love, understanding, and peace. I am a free and uncluttered expression of God. And so it is. And thank you.